Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're jumping into one of the biggest shifts happening in tech right now, how AI is completely flipping the script on cloud management. And this isn't just a minor update, We're talking about a global showdown between two totally different ways of thinking. It's going to be good. Let's get into it.
So, let's kick things off with a question that I'm guessing hits pretty close to home for a lot of you out there. Why is it that the huge majority of companies, a staggering 80%, are just constantly blowing past their cloud budgets? It's a massive, massive problem, and it hints at something much deeper going wrong.
And yeah, that number, it's worth saying again, 80%. The data is crystal clear on this one. The old school manual way of running cloud infrastructure, it's just fundamentally broken. We're seeing crazy cost inefficiencies, over-provisioning servers just in case, and just a total lack of financial control. This isn't a tiny leak in the boat, it's a fire hose of wasted cash, and it proves we need a new approach, like yesterday. And that new approach, that evolution, is what everyone's calling the AI native shift. This is the big idea for today. It's all about stop being reactive, fixing things after they break or looking at the bill after the money's already spent. Instead, we're moving to a proactive, smart, automated system where AI is literally baked into the foundation of how we manage the cloud. Okay, so before we get into the big showdown between the US and Chinese tech giants, we've got to understand the battlefield. This whole AI revolution is really being fought across three main areas. Think of them as the three core pillars of intelligent cloud management. So, pillar number one is AIOps. This is all about keeping your services healthy and running smoothly. Instead of a team of engineers frantically scrambling when an alarm goes off at 3 a.m., AIOps uses machine learning to sift through just mountains of data from servers and apps. And what's the goal? To spot weird patterns, predict failures before they actually happen, and even automate the fix. It's about keeping things fast and reliable 24/7. Pillar number two, FinOps. Now, remember that 80% problem we just talked about? Well, this is the answer to it. Old school financial planning, with those quarterly reviews, it is completely useless in the world of cloud. So AI-powered FinOps gives you nonstop, real-time visibility into your costs. And more importantly, it uses predictive analytics to forecast what you're going to spend. This is absolutely essential for managing the crazy, unpredictable costs of things like generative AI, where you're suddenly tracking cost per token. And our third and final pillar is SecOps. Look, with something like 80% of critical security risks now being found in the cloud, it has become ground zero, the main attack surface for modern business. In this new world, AI isn't a nice-to-have, it's a must-have. It gives you an adaptive defense that can actually keep up with super sophisticated, often AI-powered attacks, and it helps automate that tangled web of compliance and governance rules. All right, now we get to the fun part. Let's look at our first strategic camp, the US tech giants. The best way to think about their approach is that they're building an AI foundry. Imagine they're forging the heavy-duty tools, the platforms, and the secure infrastructure that pretty much everyone else is going to use to build their own AI stuff. Let's start with the giant, AWS. Their whole game plan is to weave generative AI directly into their massive web of data services. The big goal here is to create this single, unified layer where developers can build, manage, and govern all their AI apps at an absolutely enormous scale, making the whole thing faster and way more secure. Now, what's so cool here is how all these pieces click together. You've got Amazon SageMaker Catalog, which is basically the security guard, enforcing really strict rules on everything from the data to the AI models. Then, behind the curtain, you have powerful FinOps tools like AI-driven scaling for Redshift, which is constantly optimizing for either cost or performance on its own. And then there's zero ETL integrations, which just means getting rid of that super slow, painful process of cleaning up data before AI can use it. It's the whole foundry all in one package. Okay, next up, Microsoft Azure. Their strategy feels kind of similar. They're also focused on building a platform, but they've got this unique obsession with vertical integration. They want to create a unified AI platform that's optimized and secured from the top all the way down to their very own custom-designed computer chips. And this really shows you their strategy in action. The Azure AI Foundry, that's the high-level dashboard for the business leaders to actually track the ROI of their AI projects. Then you've got the AI Agent Service, which lets developers basically hire autonomous digital workers to handle complicated jobs. And holding it all up is specialized hardware, like the Azure Boost DPU, a custom chip that gives them better performance and lower energy bills. They're not just building the foundry, they're building the custom machines that go inside it. And rounding out the US team is Google Cloud Platform. Now, GCP is cashing in on its decades of deep AI research, and they're really focusing on two key things. One, creating these incredibly powerful agent platforms, and two, providing instant, laser-focused detection of any financial or operational problems. So what's really key here is that dual focus. On one side, you have Gemini Enterprise, which is designed to give AI agents to every single employee in a company. And on the other side, you have these ridiculously powerful specialized engines. An AIOps engine that can chew through 150 million events a minute, and a FinOps tool that doesn't just say, hey, your costs went up. It gives you a detailed breakdown of exactly why. It's about giving you both broad access and deep surgical precision. All right, let's switch gears and pivot to our second major strategic camp, China. Now, if the US is building the foundry, then China's tech giants are the ROI hunters. Their strategy isn't so much about building these universal toolkits. It's more about deploying highly specialized AI solutions that solve very specific business problems and deliver an immediate, measurable return on investment. First up, we've got Alibaba Cloud, and they show some serious maturity when it comes to AIOps. Their whole philosophy is built around getting beyond just monitoring things. They want to be in the business of proactive error prevention, basically stopping system failures before they can ever even affect a customer. And that AI patrol feature is the perfect example of this hunter approach. It's not sitting around waiting for an alarm to go off. No, it's actively patrolling the data, using machine learning to find the subtle patterns that come right before an error. It then predicts the failure and can even fix it automatically. This is AI literally hunting for problems and taking them out ahead of time, which translates directly into uptime and ROI for the business. Next, there's Tencent Cloud, and they're laser-focused on deploying super efficient, compliance-heavy AI solutions into very specific, very high-stakes industries. And their prime target? The incredibly demanding world of financial technology, or fintech. And this is where that specialization really pays off. See, Tencent isn't trying to build one generic AI to rule them all. They're creating tools like their agent development platform specifically to solve tough problems in places like banking, where security, compliance, and speed are everything. They actually use their AI to help a bank move its entire core system in just 15 hours. That is a direct, measurable, high-value result. That's a successful hunt. And finally, let's talk about Huawei Cloud, which adds a really unique angle to this whole ROI hunter strategy. Because they come from a deep background in telecom hardware, they are embedding AI directly into the physical infrastructure itself to get these massive efficiency gains and cut real-world operating costs. This is such an awesome example. Huawei uses AI algorithms to manage how much power its wireless base stations are using, and it cuts that consumption by over 20%. This isn't just about optimizing some software. This is AI reaching into the real world to slash a huge operational cost, the electricity bill for massive telecom companies. It's maybe the ultimate example of hunting for tangible, bottom-line ROI. So we've seen the two camps. The US is building the foundry, and China is on the hunt for ROI. Now, let's pull it all together for a final, head-to-head comparison to really see where they stand. And this slide just nails the difference, right? The US strategy is a long game. It's focused on platform and governance, and the goal is to build the ultimate, most secure AI toolkit for developers. The priority is locking down data and infrastructure. But in contrast, the Chinese strategy is all about now. It's about deploying ready-to-go AI solutions for specific situations and prioritizing operational stability and a fast payback. But what's really fascinating is when you break it down like this. It's not as simple as one side being better. In AIOps and infrastructure, they're pretty much neck and neck, just with different ways of getting there. But in FinOps, you can see the US vendors are way ahead with their sophisticated auto-scaling tools. And while the US is leading in building these big, comprehensive Gen AI platforms, the Chinese vendors are incredibly advanced when it comes to deploying practical, scenario-based agents. It's a really complex and dynamic race. So, after all that, what does this actually mean for you? Well, it really boils down to 3 clear takeaways. First, you have to prioritize AI-native governance. You've got to secure the entire AI lifecycle, the models, the prompts, all of it. Second, you have to demand predictive FinOps. Stop looking at last month's bill and start predicting next month's. And third, embrace what's called the agentic cloud. Start thinking less about writing manual scripts and more about using high-level AI agents to automate your business. And that leads us to our final big question.
We've got these two powerful, compelling, and totally different strategies for what the cloud should be. So, will the future belong to the side that builds the ultimate foundry, giving us the tools for endless innovation? Or will it be the side that masters the hunt, delivering that immediate, undeniable ROI? The answer to that question isn't just going to pick a winner, it's going to define the next decade of technology. Thanks so much for joining me.